Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently time warping to the Eve system. We will be there in, 60 days, so that's not so bad. Once we're there, we're going to have a bunch of science to do, and we also currently have 7361 Delta V to actually orbit Eve. Is only going to take 244.3 Delta V, which is not so bad. We're going to go ahead and grab a crew report, and then we're going to have... Actually, we're going to do a temperature scan, keep that. Atmospheric pressure scan, keep that. Mystery goo observation, keep that. Materials study, keep that. And then we're going to have Bob hop out. There you go, Bob. And you are going to go ahead and close the Science Junior. Actually, we need to have him hop back in, but let's just EVA report quick first. There we go. Because I forgot, like an idiot, to collect all data in the experimental storage unit. Okay, Bob, hop on out. And now restore the Science Junior. There you go. Open up the service bay here, and let's find our mystery goo. Go ahead and restore that as well. Okay. And let's hop on in. Excellent. Okay, so next we need to go ahead and do this burn. And we're just going to have MechJeb execute that node. That's all there is to that. And I did not mean to move Delta V stats over there, but look, there's Eve. Hi, Eve. I bet Jebediah and Valentina weren't expecting to run into Eve over here. I don't know why they wouldn't be, though. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay, so we're going to have a bunch of science to grab in orbit over Eve. We just grabbed a bunch of it. There will be some more. But mostly we're not going to focus too hard on grabbing science from Eve. Like, we don't want to be burning too much Delta V. We'll just grab what we can along the way and call it a day. Hey! We are over the Explodium Sea. And now we're over the Shallows. That's fine. We're going to abort this node execution, I think, because, let's see, in Space High, we don't get different EVA reports. So that's fine. We'll just execute this node then, and for now, we'll turn off stopping time warp. In case you're wondering why things were popping up when I was clicking here, or why time warp being stopped was back on, there is a reason for that. That reason being that X Science updated in the last week. So, there will be a few changes. Okay, so... kind of a awkward plane, but that's fine. Well, we should be burning right about now. There we go. We're still in Space High, and that's not going to change with this orbit. So we've pretty much gotten what we can off of Eve. So next up is going to be Gilly. It's going to be very, very Delta V efficient in dealing with Gilly, so that's good. Of course, our thrust-to-weight ratio, over Eve at least, is incredibly low, but that's fine. It'll be trickling up slowly. Really, really slowly. We still have our nose cones, look at that. Get out of here, nose cones. We don't need you. That'll help our thrust to weight slightly. I can't believe we carried them all the way to Eve. That's kind of ridiculous. Oh man. Okay, so that did help our thrust to weight a little bit, but not really a measurable amount. If we had done it a lot earlier, we would have gotten, I don't know, maybe like 5 extra Delta V off of one of our lower stages, and out of this one, maybe like 8. It's not a huge deal. Oh, they're coming back. We've finally accelerated enough. We're going to totally miss all of them, though, so that's excellent. There we go. Okay, how much longer on this burn? About another minute and a half. I'm going to go ahead and physics warp up for this burn. It's going a little on the slow side, so we're going to go ahead and do that. There we go. Excellent. So we are now officially in orbit-ish. Yeah, in orbit, good enough. There we go. We do still have another 23 minutes of burn left in this engine, which is a rather large amount, shall we say. Okay, let's go ahead and, at the apoapsis, we're going to add a small prograde burn, just so that we fully encapsulate the Gilly orbit here. Like so. Something like that, anyway. Maybe... that's not really what I'm going for. Yeah, something along the lines of that. That'll be fine. Then we'll just need to do a inclination match. We'll set Gilly as target right now. Okay. I mean, we're going the wrong direction, but that's fine. We're going to go ahead and execute this node. It's going to be another 80 meters per second. I'm going to go ahead and physics warp up while we're turning, and now we're regular warping. That's fine. There we go. Excellent. We just want to fully encapsulate the Eve or not the Eve orbit, the Gilly orbit right now. So that way we can, you know, make a little bit more efficient of a Hohmann transfer. And I'm going to go ahead and have MechJeb handle that, probably. However, I do want to just check, as long as we're out here. I want to push this out to be sure. Actually, you know what? As long as we're here, I just want to check if we burn retrograde like so, and do that instead. Yep, that's what we need to do. So we're going to go ahead and do that and make this burn instead. Okay. We're going to warp around to full orbit before we do it, but that's fine. There we go. We are currently only at 1% signal strength, which is a little interesting, but we have full crew control, so it's not a big deal. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely going the wrong way. So we're going to go ahead and just flip our direction here and get to where we need to go all in one fancy little burn. Which will be happening right about now-ish. I mean, we need to warp another minute. Right about now. Or not. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and warp this up because this is a 4-minute burn. There we go. And you can see our orbit is shrinking. It'll be going back up again soon. We just need to invert the direction of it. And now it's inverting. We have entered a suborbital spaceflight. And it is inverted, and we're pushing back out. There we go. So what do we have here? World first milestone, spacewalk in orbit of the sun. Also, we failed to build an orbital station around Kerbal. That was expected. I was expecting some of those to end up failing. It's not a huge deal. Okay, so at the ascending node, I mean, we're just going to do a simple match planes. It's going to be a 13-degree difference here. So we're just going to do this and turn that on. This way? Nope, this way. Okay. That's not that much delta V. Negative 0.3, negative 0.2. Okay, that's good. Execute that. That'll be in 2 days. So we're going to go ahead and physics warp up while we're turning. Make that go just a wee bit faster. There we go. And this burn will be happening very, very shortly. We're pretty close to the orbit over here. That's not necessarily what was anticipated, but it's fine. We'll be able to do a Hohmann transfer to target. I mean, theoretically, eventually, we would just meet the target over here, but I kind of don't want to just sit here orbiting for, you know, 800 to 1,000 years, something like that. That would be absurd. Okay, inclination is just about matched. Here in another couple of delta V. We are actually going to have way too much delta V. We're going to be ditching a lot out of this stage. And then the question is this enough delta V to get home? And I don't know the answer to that. I suspect maybe? But we'll find out. Okay, so where would the home and transfer to target be? Here? Okay. Let's take a look at what this actually does. We are not circular enough. Okay. No. Remove all nodes. We don't want to do that. We just want to circularize at the... well... I kind of want to circularize, but over here. And then twist the orbit out this way a little bit, like that. And then, what is this at? 22 million? Oh, what's our... Yeah, 22 million. Okay. So, something like this-ish. Okay, we'll execute that. That'll make it so that we can manually home and transfer. Like I said, I'm not actually concerned about our delta V in this stage. We're going to be ditching a lot of delta V, I think. So, we're just going to go ahead and waste a bit of fuel, I guess. This is fine. Not really concerned about this. Here in 18 days, we'll do this burn down here. And that'll match our orbit pretty closely with that of Gilly, and then theoretically we can just do a manual home and transfer, and that won't be too bad. Gilly has a highly elliptical orbit, so going from a circularized orbit would be kind of wacky anyway. So we'll not do that. Okay, go ahead and physics warp on up. So far, so good. Now we may have to do, for some of our other landings, we may have to do a more, kind of similar to the lunar rendezvous orbit that they did for the moon landing. Just because we won't necessarily be able to be landing with nuclear engines. In fact, it's quite likely that we won't be doing that. Okay, so we can go ahead and do a bit of a retrograde burn. Get in. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty close. Oop, there's an encounter. Okay. Let's take a look at this encounter. This is a very close encounter, actually. Let's, see about bumping that away slightly. 88k is a little further than I want to be. Maybe more like... somewhere around 30 kilometers. There we go. We'll execute that node. That's only 37.6 meters per second. Like, I wish that we could leave this in orbit, hook back up to it, and then come back. That's probably an evolution of this design that we'll use for, like, going to Duna or something. Where we just do something along those lines. But for right now, this is pretty much intended to be completely wasted. So we just want to burn off as much of it as we can. I mean, we could try to land with this thing, but... oh, that would be so top-heavy. That's not going to be a viable thing. Okay. So, once we get here, then we will need to circularize this orbit, and then we'll need to land probably somewhere over here on the day side. It's usually best. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Very tiny adjustments that actually get us to where we want to be. Okay, at this periapsis, we are going to go ahead and burn retrograde. Not that much. Tiny amounts of delta V. There we go. Just circularizing for now. And that's actually a pretty decent orbit for landing. So we're going to go ahead and execute that node. I'm going to go ahead and physics warp up while we're turning. Excellent. Okay. So we haven't yet seen Gilly, it's just a tiny little rock. But there's Eve. We'll be coming back for you, Eve. There's Gilly. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to be orbiting around Gilly a few times. But first we're going to circularize here. Primarily the reason we're going to be orbiting is just to get as much science as we can. Of course, we are intending on recovering this vessel. Will be an exciting prospect. Come on. There we go. Now we'll warp on up. And now we'll do our burn right about now. There we go. Okay. So this is just a tiny amount of delta V in order to get us in orbit here. As you can see, our thrust to weight is just insane over Gilly. Like, seriously, 52 thrust to weight ratio? Like, that's just nuts. Landing is going to require a really delicate touch. Oh, okay. We're actually changing the directionality of our orbit. Well, that explains why this is taking so much delta V. There we go. This will just get us to where we need to go. Yep. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab a temperature scan. There's nothing in space to get a temperature of, apparently. Let's grab an atmospheric pressure scan. It's like we're in a vacuum of some type. Well, let's observe the mystery goo. Goo feels right at home here. And let's do a materials study. I almost said a mysterials study, and that would have been weird. Let's see, the high radiation environment caused a few of the samples to glow. It looks like it would be fun to paint the rocket with this. This is a high radiation environment? Okay, well, I don't think that's actually a mechanic in the game. So, we're going to go ahead and keep this experiment. There we go. And then we need Bob to get out. There we go. And Bob, I need you to do your normal. And just, well... Once again, I forgot to collect the experiments. Collect all. There we go. Now Bob can get out. Grab an EVA report. Okay, and while you're out here, go ahead and restore the Science Junior. There you go. And go ahead and restore the Mystery Goo containment unit, and close the service bay, and hop back in, and grab a crew report. Excellent. Okay. Collect all. Okay, so, we are now... Okay, yeah, it is circularized. I just saw it in, like, a weird angle there, and it looked kind of like this, and I was like, whoa, what happened? But no, we're good. We're going to go ahead and turn on the time warp stopper, and we're going to go ahead and warp up and see if we can't find ourselves any additional biomes around Gilly. We're going to do about a full orbit here before we decide to deorbit. Here we go, Midlands. We've already gotten Midlands, though, because we were going this direction before we changed our directionality. For, you know, reasons. We're gonna change Smart ASS over to Killrot. Also, we've performed the first spacewalk in orbit of Gilly, so that's good. I did not click the delete button. There we go. Okay, so we can't warp up any faster than this because of our altitude, but this is fine. This is still Midlands. Gilly is just a tiny little misshapen rock. 13.6 meters per second. In space high over the Highlands. Okay, we already got the Highlands. Excellent. Now, if I recall correctly, we could actually go down to the surface with a Kerbal and then fly back up to the ship. We don't actually have to land this thing on Gilly. Should we try it? No, let's not try it this go round. We'll try it with we'll try it with a rendezvous orbit later on. For now, we'll try it just our normal way. We're going to be burning off so little Delta V while here. But, I mean, we have so much here that I don't want to go to waste. It's going to suck. Okay, this is the Midlands. It's going to suck if we find out we needed this 1500 Delta V. But that's one of the reasons why I'm going to use this as much as possible. Let's see here. This is Lowlands, which we apparently already have. Okay. Does Gilly only have the 3 biomes? Highlands, Midlands, Lowlands? Maybe. We're about halfway around, though, so we're going to go the rest of the way and see just how much we can get here. May as well also head over towards surface velocity minus. We're going to be burning that way relatively soon anyway. Oh man, this thrust to weight is insane. It'll be certainly interesting getting back. Maybe we should slingshot around Eve on the way back out. That might not be the worst idea. Okay, this is Midlands. So far, so good. Oh, this is still counting as in-space high. So, I'm an idiot. Where is the... Okay, KSpedia. You're not helpful. Okay. Good to know. Well, let's go ahead and change our orbit then. Down to about 10K. That should be theoretically plenty high. There we go. Execute that node. And that's going to take 2 meters per second. Look at that. That's just insane. Okay, we're going to go ahead and time warp up to make this go a little faster because I was an idiot. Of course, this does mean that it's going to take even longer to do the orbit around. So that's going to be exciting. Actually, I'm not sure it will. I think 100x is going to be what it's going to take no matter what. Well, regardless, we will be there soon. We're not going to stop warp around here anyway. This time warp is not going very speedy. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode, we will actually do our in-space low nonsense over Gilly. See you all then.